Cherry mango conserve is a combination of ingredients that I enjoy so much. The cherries and the mangoes work really well together, and then they have the walnuts there as well, which we all know how much I love having nuts in these conserves. You could even switch it out for pecans if those are more readily available for you. I've already prepared my mangoes by peeling them, seeding them, and dicing them very finely. So now I'll place them in a large pot and I'll chop them up some more. I really like this little chopping, mashing tool. It works really well for making these small. Still want there to be some chunks because I want to be able to differentiate the different flavors as they hit inside your mouth, but I don't want them to be too big. You'll want to have very ripe mangoes because if they're too green, they don't mash up very well and the flavor isn't quite as sweet. So I actually went to the store and looked for ones that were already starting to wrinkle. It was actually kind of funny when the produce guy heard what I was looking for. Now I need 3 cups of chopped cherries. I've already destemmed my cherries, washed them, and pitted them. I always continue to watch for pits because just occasionally they'll still be in there. I'm actually kind of paranoid about there being pits in this, and so I'm constantly checking for them. That wouldn't be a nice surprise to get in my conserve. Now I'll add my 3 cups of mashed cherries, 4 cups of sugar, half of a teaspoon of ground ginger, half of a teaspoon of almond extract, and half of a teaspoon of butter to help keep the foam down. Now I'll place this on the stove and bring it up to the gelling point. I'll need my thermometer for this because the gelling point is 220 degrees if you're at sea level. But if you're at a higher elevation like I am, then you drop the temperature 2 degrees for every 1,000 feet above sea level. So in my case, that would be 218 degrees. So it takes a while to get it up to that gelling point. And now I'll add half of a cup of chopped walnuts. I chop mine pretty coarsely because I like to have larger chunks of nuts in there. And then I'll mix it in so that it'll be included in each of the jars. I'll fill my half-pint jars to 1/4 of an inch of headspace, which is a space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. And this is really thick. I'm always amazed at just how thick it can become with that gelling point, even if you're not putting any pectin in it. If you didn't have pectin available, that gelling point is what you would do for any jam to get it to set. I'll then use a chopstick to debubble my jars. This is a thick enough conserve that I want to make sure that there's no air bubbles trapped in there. Plus, this helps me get a look at my headspace and see if it's good. Sadly, I used every last drop of it to fill up these jars, so I don't have anything for a taste tester today. But I've tried this one before, and it is lovely. I'll then use a clean, damp cloth to wipe off the rim of my jars so that if there's any conserve that's gotten on the edge, it won't interfere with the seal. I'll then place my lids and rings on until they're fingertip tight. I'm using my Superb lids today. I actually really like these. It's an American-made company. I wouldn't affiliate with them if I didn't feel like it was really good quality. I have a link to their site in the description below, and don't forget to use my exclusive code for 20% off. Now I'll process these in the boiling water bath for 15 minutes if I'm at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so I'll go for 20, but I won't start my timer until after it begins to boil. Now that the processing time is complete, I'll remove the lid, turn off the heat, and let it sit for 5 minutes. I'll place the jars on a heat-resistant surface about 1 to 2 inches apart so that they can cool quickly. I'll leave them there for about 24 hours so that they can get a nice seal. I know that they have a nice seal if the center of the lid has depressed down. If it has, then I remove the ring and wash the outside with hot soapy water, and then I'll store it in a cool, dry, dark location and use it in the next 1 to 3 years. If for some reason it didn't seal, then I would place it in the refrigerator and use it right away.